What's up, guys? Thanks for joining us for another episode of Fantasy Football Wrap-Up. Guys, we have another good show today. So a couple days ago, we did quarterbacks, guys, tight ends this week. We're super excited. There's my boy Tyler over here.
We got Gronkowski on today.
Right. So
it was going to be Ben Coates, but I figured I would just wear Gronkowski.
Probably can't see it. We got an autographed Coates jersey over here on the wall.
But,
big Pats fans, as you can see. But we're going to go over some tight ends this week. I don't think it's something a lot of people, spend a lot of time covering. Other than maybe the really popular people, and there's some good ones you can get later.
Yep.
So we're really excited to kind of give you a little bit different version of some tight ends and a different way to look at it. I hope you guys like the video. If you do, please like it and subscribe. Join our fantasy football page on Facebook, and you could win this lovely prize.
David Johnson.
Autographed, comes with a little authentication card.
Yep.
And maybe 2 weeks, maybe something like that?
2 weeks-ish. Maybe, worst case scenario, like the Hall of Fame game, maybe, something like that.
Yeah.
We're not trying to put a date on it. We're just going to do it in a couple weeks, I think.
We got a couple of giveaways we want to do before the season starts. So it's this, and we get an autographed jersey we're going to talk about down the road. So, we're thinking maybe 2 weeks for this one, 2 weeks for that one, and get the end of
next month,
end of training camp.
Yeah.
So that's where we are. But again, to do that, to qualify, like the video, subscribe to it, please. Appreciate for all the ones that you've done already. Join our fantasy football group. So it's Fantasy Football Wrap-Up. Capital F's, capital W, capital U for each one. It's on Facebook. We'll approve you. We'll answer any questions you guys got. Philosophies.
Posts, feel free.
Someone just asked us about our scoring league. I think we talked about that in the last video too.
Video.
We just had help. So we're super excited about tight ends. It's an overrated position a little bit because it doesn't give you a lot of points. But it can be sneaky good for you if you know what you're doing. So let's get right into it, guys.
Before we start, though.
Sorry. Let's not get right into it.
Don't draft them early. Do yourself a favor. All right, now we can
start. Thanks for the show. All right, guys, let's go over the top 20. We have them up here. I got my ADP list right here. Number 1, we're just going to bounce back and forth, go with some names. So Gronkowski, I think that's clear cut. I know some people like Kelsey.
And no, it's not because I'm wearing a Gronkowski jersey. It's because he really is the best when he's healthy.
If he's going to be playing 16, his back seems to be healthy. He's at freaking WrestleMania, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So he's doing that. Suplex, I mean, he's good. Right, so I think Grunk's one. If he's healthy, he's a game changer.
He is.
I think that's clear cut.
He was at, everyone averaged around, was it 7 or something? 11 yards per catch?
Oh, no, 21.
No, everyone else, though.
Oh, everybody else is between 11 and 13 yards per
11 and 13, he's at 21.
Grunk is 21.6 per catch, guys. That means if he gets 5 catches a game is kind of what he averages when he's healthy.
I mean, 100 yards.
It's 5 and 100.
Every game.
5 and 100. His rookie year, he put up 17 touchdowns.
I'll take that on my wide receiver.
Game changers. And the best part is Brady goes to him no matter what. He's option 1, and then there's Cooks, Edelman, everybody else. Anybody tells you differently, they don't watch Patriots football.
No.
So we got him at 1. We got Kels at 2. I'm a big Kels guy. His upside is through the roof.
Kels' upside, especially if Gronk goes down. Kels he's clearly the second best tight end to me. He gets all the targets. Alex, especially with losing Macklin. Anyone that watches Kansas City games knows that he's the guy. Yeah. I know everyone wants to talk about Tyreek Hill now, but Tyreek Hill's not getting 170 targets. It's not happening.
No, and Kels got a $117 last year. That number only goes up.
He's going over 130. He's going to get Greg Olsen targets.
So Macklin took 76 targets. They didn't bring in another receiver to take those targets.
His name's Albert Wilson. He's still on the roster. He ain't doing anything.
Yeah. Alex Smith ain't going to Mr. Wilson over there before Kels and Hill, but we think Kels gets better than he did last year.
Only at 4 touchdowns, though.
That's
this
a concern.
Year, I see him at 7 to 8. I think he gets into that. Yeah. I don't know about double digits. That team just doesn't throw enough for double digits. Right. That's the only problem.
Right.
But he's still going to get 1,000 yards again. He had 1,100 last year.
Yeah, and his catches could go into the 90s. He had 85 last year. We like him a lot.
For a tight end.
What do you got for 3?
I don't even want to say it, but Jordan Reed. He's going to be the guy that his ADP is why he's not good pick. He's really good, and he gets the touchdowns when he's on the field. Cousins does throw to him.
Yep.
And if Vernon Davis wasn't there, he'd probably be at 2, to be honest with you, because
he started 8 games last year and got 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. He's a machine.
No, he is.
When he's on the field, he is like Gronkowski. The problem is he's not on the field as much. And I'm going to get into more details of that later. I'm not going to do it right now.
Hamstrings, all that.
It's always something. So what about 4?
Greg Olsen right here. The targets, he hit 132 last year. So, I mean, and I don't even know that. He doesn't
Crazy.
know that. We thought he was getting
80.
80 like.
Cam Newton doesn't have.
But it's because
throw.
Cam Newton would throw it 75 yards over his head and throw it into the stands, or be worried about giving the ball.
And he didn't like to throw to him last year. The year before, you had him. He was a monster. I took
20
him.
a week out of him.
Yeah, I took him going into last fantasy football season. He had him the year before. And I thought I had him at a steal in the 6th round. No one's talking about him.
No one talked about him first.
I thought he was a steal.
Well,
and boy, I couldn't have been more wrong. He wanted to throw to Ted Ginn Jr. more. And he just did not want to throw to him. He didn't want to check down and go to the tight end. We watched games, on NFL Red Zone, and we're seeing highlights of him wide open, and Cam's overthrowing Ted Ginn.
I traded for him last year from him.
Yeah.
I threw my phone across the room because he's running wide open down the sideline. What's Cam Newton do? Throws a pick on a little slant pass for a touchdown.
But Connor came back because I'm the one that traded him to Tyler, and I got Cooks in return, and Cooks got me 0 targets, 0 catches. Thank you, Brandon Cooks. So
and now he's on the Patriots.
All right, and I will not draft him. So that came back. So we got Olsen 4. He's tremendously talented. Most targets, second in targets out of anybody in the league. So he's pretty good. So we got Tyler Eifert at number 6.
Touchdown base is why he's here.
He's touchdown base.
He's a very good red zone target.
Yeah, he was really banged up last year. He played in 8 games. He only started 2.
If he's healthy, it's why I would go Jordy Nelson over AJ Green, where I pick at 9. Right. Personally, that's what it comes down to.
It just helps out,
Because he steals red zone targets, and that doesn't help for AJ Green.
No, his a longer touchdown jet, and
Dalton
looks for him. He's like option 1 there. He's back corner fade.
You'll see they'll throw trips on this side, 3 receivers, and then they'll throw the tight end out there and just lob it to the tight end. That's what they do
he
every
loves
time.
throwing him in the red zone, so he is touchdown dependent. So whether it's PPR or standard scoring, he can work either way. He had again, he doesn't have overall great numbers. He had 47 targets.
He only started
in 8
2 games last year. He played 8 of them, but he only was starting on.
But he started. He came in. He didn't start his first couple games back. He just kind of played in them. It wasn't huge numbers. I actually had him. I actually stored him because the year before he was a monster. So I kept him on my bench until he came back. He was okay for me.
If you're drafting him though, just make sure you do draft somebody later on because you may need to go and use that guy. And if you have an injured reserve spot, that's even better.
Right.
Because you can just throw him on the IR and not have to worry about dropping him.
Right. If he's going to be healthy all year, that's great. He was the reason why I moved Olsen to him because I thought I could. I waited till that point, and I could put Eifert right into that starting.
Well, they score about the same with the way he scores the touchdowns.
Yeah, they really do.
I mean, at the end of the day,
decent,
So we'll go to
Delaney Walker at number 7.
Yeah.
So with Tennessee Titans,
Yep.
kind of an undervalued name. Not a lot of people talk about him too much, but
I agree. Last year, this year, I'm not really that high on him. He's here because
he has talent.
He can get open, but they added Decker. They drafted Davis.
Yep.
They're gonna run the ball still. I just don't see where the target.
They got your boy Rashad Matthews. They got 2 running backs.
Yeah, so I mean,
he does like to throw to the tight end though, so I don't think he's gonna fall off the earth.
No.
It's probably the reason why
he's not getting 69 catches again this year. 65 catches this year.
Right.
For 800 yards, he's probably gonna be closer to 55 catches, more like a Charles Clay type season. 45 or 50 catches. He's gonna get you the touchdowns though, because in the red zone he is successful.
I mean, he only had 65 catches last year, and it's the reason why he's below Tyler Eifert.
Yeah.
Is because
the thing with him though, he is what do you call it? He had 800 yards.
Yep.
So I mean, he is a big play tight end. He does get you the 30 or 40 yard touchdown. He's done it, but. They
have too many weapons on that offense. He is not going to be option 2.
And it's not like Mariota is going to be sitting there like Phillip Rivers just staring down somebody and just throwing it. No, Mariota's going to chuck it. We talked about that in the last one. He moves it. He's got options.
He's efficient. He's like Brady throws to the open guy.
So
he's just not going to get as many targets as he did last year. He had 102.
Yeah.
I think that number comes down. I think his 65 catches goes to 50.
Yeah.
They just got too many weapons. Rashad Matthews, like we talked about, there's too many weapons on that team. Number 8 tight end here. We got Kyle Rudolph.
Love Kyle Rudolph. He's probably because him and I wait on tight ends. He's one of my favorite to get. He had almost 90 catches last year, quietly. So, he didn't have 90, almost 90.
Yeah, almost 90.
Exactly what it was.
Yep.
But 83, and he had 840 yards.
Yep, 7 touchdowns.
If you get that out of your tight end, and he's in an offense that uses the tight end.
Right.
That's the biggest part.
Right.
And he stays healthy. Well, he did this year.
Although he's never done it before, that's the reason why I don't have him over like a Delaney Walker.
Exactly.
Right? It's kind of his first year kind of breaking out, so...
Well, it's more so his first year staying healthy, because he has had injury issues in the past.
Right.
But
He's got Sleeves thrown to him instead of Teddy Bridgewater. Bridgewater didn't really care to throw to the tight end as much.
And Sleeves one of the better percentage quarterbacks in the league.
So we'll see. We're not crazy about the Minnesota offense as well, like Tennessee's offense, so he drops down to that 8 spot for those reasons.
Yeah, the touchdowns is why, because I think he's going to lose some with Diggs healthy this year.
If you took Delaney Walker and Rudolph and said, okay, we're going to put those guys on Green Bay, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rudolph's going to be better, and he'd be higher than Delaney Walker. The problem is you can't do that, and Minnesota's offense is horrible with Sleeves, and Tennessee's is not, so we have them a little bit higher. So that's what we got at 8.
So now we're going to the Packers for Martellus. Oh, sorry. Nope, skipped one. My bad. That's
Zach Ertz over at the good old Philadelphia Eagles there.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Kind of quietly having a decent year last year.
He's another one that doesn't stay healthy, and that's kind of a theme with the tight ends, and that's why people that do stay healthy move up the board.
Yeah.
Like Greg Olsen, he's one of the top tight ends because he plays every game every year.
Right.
You just the volume of targets. That's why he does it.
Yeah.
At tight end, especially a lot of you guys aren't going to be getting Gronkowski or anyone, but if you do, good for you. If you don't, I'm not gonna.
Right.
You just get the guy that gets targeted. That's all you gotta do. If he gets opportunities, you're gonna get points. It's just the way it works.
There's nothing wrong with taking your draft pick and using it on the tight end, especially in the top 5 rounds or something like that, for a guy that just doesn't play every week.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in a guy. I don't care what he gets in the 4 weeks, 5 weeks he plays.
Yeah.
If he ain't gonna be there for 16, now all of a sudden for the other 13 weeks, 11 to 12 weeks,
you gotta find somebody.
You gotta find someone. And after everybody's been drafted, what are you gonna do?
And when you draft Jordan Reed, you almost have to draft someone that's in this top 15 list we're going to give you because you need to fill in a starter. It's not like a backup.
That in a minute, absolutely. So, but again, quietly, he did have 106 targets, where last year, if you told me Zach Ertz, do you want him as a tight end, I would have been like, no.
No.
But he had a decent year last year. He's healthy most of the week, so.
I honestly still thought Selleck was their starter last year.
He only missed 2 games. He started 12 of the 14, so he was decent. So you got him at number 9 there because I think that offense gets better.
It does.
I think Wentz is kind of a little undervalued going into this year. They added a lot in there. That should free up Ertz, adding Alshon Jeffrey.
Definitely.
So I think he's a little bit better, which is why we have the upside. The next guy we're going to talk about, to me, is a joke. And Martellus Bennett. I know he went to Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Do not get fooled. This is like the Derek Carr scenario. Don't let people tell you Martellus Bennett is a great tight end.
I don't know where everyone says he's so fast, because watching him run, it's like watching a unicorn with like cement blocks on his feet.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah, he's.
It's like watching me try to run a 40-yard dash.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like it's not a good thing.
Guys, he's overrated. Don't fall for that. But he does run out of top 10. At 11, we get Eric Ebron of the Lions.
Yeah.
Again, another guy who does a lot. 13 games started, 13 games played. Played most of the year. I mean, if you think about it, I know there's 17 weeks in the football season with a bye week, so everybody plays 16. In fantasy football, most of the time your championship week is 16.
Yeah, so sometimes you only have
15 weeks of your guys, and he played 13 of it. That's solid. What do you got at 12?
We're going to go Jack Doyle here. We'll talk about him a little bit more in depth in a couple minutes. But then 13, we're going to go Hunter Henry. Mm-hmm. He's going to be dependent on if Gates gets hurt, or maybe it's a surprise to everyone and Gates retires before the end of the year. I don't see that happening, but maybe something like that happens.
Yeah.
Maybe he just rethinks decisions. But Hunter Henry could just be more of a vulture, I think.
Yeah.
More yards than
he's young. He did get a little banged up last year. He wasn't healthy throughout the season, which is why. In fact, Antonio Gates probably. I know he had more targets than him. He had 93.
Yeah, I didn't even
53.
Think that. 53. Yeah, it was like.
But Gates is
40 different.
Yeah, and Gates is like 155 years old. He might retire. We just had Andrew Hawkins from the Patriots retire today.
Yeah, just to not.
Because he didn't want to get the training. So those things happen. So keep an eye on that. I don't think that happens with him.
No,
I think he plays out the year. Probably retires at the end of the year.
Yeah,
so maybe they work Hunter Henry in more, which is why I think I have him rated higher than Gates.
And we're just going to run through the last couple real quick.
So 14
we're going to go Colby Fleener. And 15, we're going to go C.J. Fedorowicz.
Yeah.
At this point, if you're looking for a tight end, you don't have one. And you might as well just grab one of these rookies.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All these names we're going to give you next to throw them in a hat and hope you get something good.
So
we got Julius Thomas. Cameron Bray, Antonio Gates,
You can
Austin
throw
Hooper.
any one of them at 15.
Austin Hooper might have a little upside because they got rid of Jacob Tamme, so he is going to be the one receiver now.
Yeah.
So, and he had some sneaky, a good game here or two there. So maybe keep an eye on him. Let's see how training camp goes. But that kind of rounds up the top 20. Not many people even probably drafting that many. Give me a guy tight end that you think is a little overrated.
All right, that's Martellus Bennett. I mean, I'm going to give you guys some mind-blowing things from me.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' teams since 2011, so I'm going to read you 2012. His tight ends on the team, not his main tight end.
All of his tight ends.
All of his tight ends combined,
Okay.
5 touchdowns on the year.
And what year was that?
In 2012.
Okay.
2013, 6. 2014, 6. Starting to sense a theme. 2015, went up a little bit, went to 8.
Right.
So, it's one of these things he's just not going to use the tight end. He goes to Jordy Nelson, Adams, Cobb.
Yeah.
Not so much Cobb anymore, but, he goes to these guys, Ty Montgomery.
They do like to run the ball as much as they throw too. So.
Yeah. And in 2011, I say since 2011, because 2011 they threw 10, had 858 yards that year with their tight ends.
Right.
So, but Martellus Bennett this year, I just hear so many people talking like, he could be the best tight end in football
Right. He's
this
got
year.
so much upside.
He's the best
Wrong.
offense with the best quarterback.
No.
Well, the best
Well, that
quarterback is probably true, but he's going to throw to Jordy Nelson over this guy every time in the red zone.
Right. You watch. Keep an eye
Anyone
on that.
that drafts him, draft somebody else. I'm warning you right now, because
Yep.
you're going to be disappointed 4 weeks into the year when
Yep.
you're trying to claim, like we just said, Antonio Gates off waivers or it might even be that good of a player.
Right.
You might be on Joku from Cleveland trying to get somebody.
Yeah, in his ADP we got it right around 8th to 9th round. So I don't like him in the 8th round. There's a bunch of other guys I like and a bunch of other tight ends we'll talk about here in a minute where you can get later that I think is going to give you better production than
Piggybacking on the show we did a couple days ago, I'd go Kirk Cousins there before I go him. Like, I would take him around earlier before taking him.
I'd take my defense before I take him.
I would too.
There's a lot of people. So yeah, no, that's a good one. So I got Jordan Reed, and I talked about a little bit off the top, and I'm going to blow your mind here with some of these numbers. It's similar to the David Carr thing. People hear the name Jordan Reed. His ADP is like the 3rd round, and most of the ones we see is 3rd round. It's where he's going to go in our league, guys. 2013, 14, 15, and 16. 4 years. The last 4 years. All right? 16 games, that they play in a year because there's a bye week, right? Just regular, not fantasy, right? That is 64 games, right? Simple math, right? He's played in only 46 of them.
Yep.
Right? Which is 3/4.
Yeah.
Right? He's only started 23 games. 23 out of 64 games. You know what that number is? 35% of the games. That's what he starts. He only starts 35% of the games, and you're going to take him in the 3rd round. Honestly, I wouldn't want you in my league. Honestly, that's a joke. You're going to waste a 3rd round pick and not take a...
Well, actually, I do want you in the league, and we can probably make spots for you if you want to come
seriously, because you're going to pass on Doug Baldwin, Gurley, Fournette,
Pryor. I would take Pryor as teammate over him.
Hill. Over a guy that's you're gonna draft a guy in the 3rd round that starts 35% of your games. What is the point of playing a guy like that? What is it? You just say I'll pass. I don't need my 3rd round pick. That's what you're saying.
I'll go on a limb
it's
say,
a joke.
I'll go on a limb and say Barnage gets signed and starts more than 35% of games this year.
Yeah, maybe they signed Bart. Well, now they do have a backup type. They got Vernon Davis.
And
that's
he's
something
a good
sleeper you want to keep an eye out for when Reed goes down, because it's
I don't know why you say when Reed
goes
goes down. I'd take him not before, but I would take him instead of Reed. I'd take him later on. I would take Vernon Davis and play him. Because at least he's going to play.
Right. So it's just mind-boggling. So do not get fooled on Reed.
No. So we're going to do a couple underrated ones right here.
Yep.
We don't want to spend too much time on tight ends today. I mean, they're not really the biggest position on your team.
Right. But you should know some things about
this. And this guy is a guy we talked about. Kyle Rudolph is the most underrated tight end.
Okay.
Because Sam Bradford is one of the higher % completion quarterbacks in the league. And those type of quarterbacks generally check down to their tight ends. And there's no pass-catching running back.
No.
Delvin Cook's going to do better with that department.
Anybody's better than what they had last year.
But 132 targets last year.
Right.
He's probably going to stay about the same. Maybe he loses 10.
Yeah.
So maybe he goes into the 115 range. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So maybe he gets 75 catches, 800 yards, and
Yep.
even if he gets 7 touchdowns again,
Yeah.
where you're taking him is why he's a good value.
Right.
And
Right. I agree. His ADP is great.
yeah,
So,
Kyle Rudolph is the guy I would
Yep.
target as an underrated guy.
yeah.
Who you got?
So I got Jack Doyle. So I'm a big Jack Doyle. For those of you
This
that
is a deep sleeper too.
This is a deep sleeper, and I like him not because I think he's going to be a top 5 fantasy tight end, but because where you're going to draft him, his ADP I think was where's my boy?
Oh,
Jack Doyle.
Right,
So
they're
about almost
30.
130. So the 13th round in a 10-team league is where you're going to get this guy. Most people are going to be done drafting tight ends at this point. So for those of you that don't even know who he is because you've been living in a box, he is now the starting tight end for the Colts because they moved on from Dwayne
And
Allen
Andrew Luck throws
and
to
traded him
the
to the Patriots. And Andrew Luck does like to throw to the tight end.
Yep.
More importantly, he threw to Jack Doyle in those 4-game stretch when he was the starter. Because
Yep.
after that he was the 2 tight end. So in that 4-game stretch when he was the starter, all right, 20 catches, 228 yards, 2 touchdowns. What does that translate to? 5 catches.
Yeah.
Right, 57 yards, and a touchdown every other week.
Yeah.
5 and 57. So 1 week he's going to get you in our league. 5 and 57 is 10.7 points.
Yeah.
Right, 5 a point per reception.
Which out of my tight end I would take if he's a bye week filler.
And he's going to get and he averages a half a touch. So he's going to have 8 touchdowns at the end of the year. Average 5 catches a week and 57 yards. And you're going to get that kind of production in round 13. Are you crazy?
So that's for Jack Doyle, right?
That's for Jack Doyle. Now, again, we're assuming that he translate that. He's played all the games. He doesn't miss games. He didn't miss half a year.
Yeah.
So he should stay healthy. You can get him around 13,
Yep.
right? And I think he's going to give you top 10 tight end production. He's going to be better than Marty Bennett. He's going to be better than Zach Ertz. I probably have him from the 130th ADP, probably right up behind Kyle Rudolph at number. I think he's the 8th tight end. And I got Jack Doyle there. Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Where would you start drafting tight ends?
For me, I like Rudolph, and I will reach on him in the 8th. I like him that much.
Okay.
So the 8th round is where I would go, and then my next pick is usually Cousins in the mocks I've been doing. And,
Right.
You know, that's where I generally think no, because, again, if you know your league, you can kind of debate or determine where people are going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you and a few friends, you know, want to figure out draft picks or
Right.
who's going to be there. You can just figure out by basically who people like.
Right. Won 3 fantasy championships, correct?
Yeah.
How many times have you had Rob Gronkowski in the past 5 years? How many times have you had Jordan Reed in the past 4 years since he's been in the league?
No, I don't even do that.
Travis Kelce hasn't been around.
I won a championship
that
with
Olsen.
the last championship I won was in 2011. Not really anything to brag about. It was
Right.
a little while ago, but that was with Cameron, the tight end.
Oh, in Miami.
No, he was in Cleveland. at
Oh,
the time.
when he went to Cleveland, 'cause
Yeah.
he was with Miami.
Yeah, he went there after Cleveland.
Yes, that's correct.
So I had him as my tight end, and he was
Right.
getting like 16 or 17.
You are the captain of the Let's Find the Good Tight End off the free agent wire.
Gary Barnage. I was
Barnage,
screaming
he was
his
a
name out a couple
monster.
years ago.
With McCown.
I changed my team name to the Barnyard Dogs.
You did, yeah. You were the king of finding Cameron, him.
But yeah, so Kyle Rudolph is the guy I would watch.
So your philosophy is you don't draft one before round what, 6 you said?
8.
Round 8. So no tight ends before round 8. That's
Yeah,
your philosophy.
because I this is how I do mine. I look at Kelsey, Gronk, Reed, Olsen, Graham. These guys are all gone by the time I'm picking anyways. I don't even look at them.
Right.
So I just say,
Right.
all right, out of this group, who would I like? I like Rudolph. So I'm going to see, and in our league, I know right around where Eifert's going to go, and I think he's going to go above Rudolph just because of the touchdowns.
Right.
I'm going to take him in the 8th round.
Right.
You know, maybe the 9th if he falls. If there's still Jimmy Graham on the board, I'll let somebody else take him. I just like Rudolph. Rudolph's probably who I'm targeting most.
In our league, tight ends go very late. They don't go early except for a couple of big names.
And that
like
falls under,
else.
if you know your league, you can kind of figure that out. Like
Yeah.
quarterbacks, Rodgers should go in the top 22 in most leagues.
Yeah. I think this is what's going to happen in ours, right? Gronk is going to go in the first couple rounds.
Yep,
Probably
he'll go
round 2
early.
somewhere.
Kelsey in the 3rd or 4th.
I think Reed is going in the 3rd round, which
Yeah.
is dumb.
Yeah, it's
And then
like
Forget about whether you think he's not going to stay healthy. First of all, you just don't even take him over Travis Kelce, just straight production.
It is. You don't do that.
And we think Kelce is going to go somewhere before the 4th,
Yep.
or right around the 4th. And then after that, you go, Olsen, Graham, Eifert. We think there'll be a little bit of drop off. So we think when you look at a Kyle Rudolph, where his ADP might be 8th round, we think he's going to fall a couple
maybe
of rounds
into
after
like
that.
he could go into the 10th.
10.
So
Yeah.
that's where you can get it.
And I'm
So
with you on that philosophy too. I think tight ends are later. You don't waste one early because all the good ones.
Hell, you're not drafting one until around 13.
Dude, I'm drafting Kyle. My boy Jack. I mean, I'm
drafting.
13. You know, maybe unless Graham falls. I see his.
Yeah,
ADP
he would
late.
be somebody if he fell to me because
Right.
I've had him. Actually, no, I won't even take him over Rudolph right now because I've had him so many times.
Yeah.
He screwed me the last 2 years.
Yeah, I like him. I haven't had him. I watch him. I keep an eye on him. He did play 16 games.
No, he did.
He started
He did.
15 of them. His ADP is in
they're
the 6th
almost
to
the same
7th round.
player. They're almost the same player in a way.
Him and Eifert?
Him and
Rudolph? Yeah.
They're both going to get you
Yeah.
about 7 touchdowns. They're both
Yeah.
going to be over 800 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of the
They're going to
day,
get similar numbers. And
it's about the same. They both only have
Yeah.
one receiver that gets targeted on that team.
the mock drafts I do on my phone, I see him fall.
Yeah,
You know,
he
8th,
falls.
9th round. His ADP right now looks like on most people's boards it's like around 6 or 7. In our league, he falls. In most mock drafts I've done on my phone, he's fallen.
Yeah.
Not far, but
Yeah.
you know, 8th, 9th, 10th round. You know, Jimmy Graham, Rudolph. Those are some pretty.
Yeah.
Even Eifert. You know,
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind one of those 3 after round 8. So, but don't draft them tight ends early.
Yeah,
Guys,
it's
you're
just
not.
it's going to hurt you.
You talk to anybody that's played fantasy football for a long time, and you are not going to hear these words out of someone's mouth. I lost my championship last year because I didn't have a good tight end.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
If
You
you
can say
were-
you don't have a top running back, a top receiver, my quarterback killed me.
Killed you.
You're not,
Yeah.
oh, I lost because I didn't have a good tight end all year. No, that's a joke. That means you drafted bad and you made bad trades. They're not that valuable position. Gronk would be if he's healthy, but other than that,
Yeah.
in our league, they're going to get you. You get a guy that gets you 11 points out of the tight end. The great ones only get about 15.
Yeah.
So it ain't like other positions where the great running back might get you 35 in our league.
And most of these guys aren't even going to score as much as your flexes.
Right.
So it's honestly like
Do you know what
more
David
of a
Johnson
kicker.
averaged for you last year? Must have been at least 30 points a week in our
Oh,
league.
in
right?
our league,
30, 35,
I
somewhere
think he was
around there.
like, yeah, I'd say just under 30. I think because he had a few games
Just under
in
30.
18. I'd say about
Right.
28, 29.
And then you take a 13th round running back, and they might average 8.
Yeah.
So that 35, 30, let's just say 30,
Let's say
round
30,
up
yeah,
to
you
8.
get
Or,
22
and we'll round his up
difference.
to 10. That's a 20-point difference. The tight ends, the best one's going to give you about 15 in our league, maybe 20 if you get
Yep.
lucky. But they're going to average probably about 15, and then the 13th, 10th round ones are going to average
Jack
like
Doyle's
11.
going to get you a 12 or 13.
It's
so
like
you're going to get
it's
2
less
or
than
3
5 points a week difference. It's
Yep.
not going to make or break you guys. Don't get that.
That-
That's our philosophy on the tight ends.
Definitely, yeah. Just don't draft him early.
Right.
Just
Go
do
with the
yes
quarterback
waivers.
first before you
Yeah.
go for a tight end, and you'll be thanking us. So, guys, we appreciate the questions. We appreciate all the views. It's only our 4th video now, and our first video
it's
looks like
our
it's
5th,
almost at
right?
100
I
views.
think it's our 5th.
It's a 5th, 2 divisions, top 20 quarterbacks, tight ends. Yeah, so our
So
5th
our
video.
5th.
Our first one's up to just under 100. So we
Thanks,
appreciate
guys, for all
looks.
the looks that you do for us. So
Absolutely. Like, subscribe, guys. Join our Facebook page at where?
Fantasy Football Wrap Up, all capitals, no spaces.
Right.
So just shoot us any messages. Just
We'll prove you right away. We'll respond to you like we do for the guys that are all joined. And guys, the reason I say that, autograph David Johnson Manning helmet. Not that it's
that's how we're gonna get in touch with you too. So that's why you need to be
Yeah.
able to get on the fantasy
Right. A lot of you got-
football
yeah.
wrap up on Facebook because that's how we're gonna get in touch with you to be able to send this to you because it's otherwise how
on
we
YouTube.
know
Your
you-
subscriptions, most people have them private, so I can only see
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 out of the ones we got so far.
Yeah.
So when you join Fantasy Facebook Wrap Up,
Fantasy Football Wrap
Fantasy
Up.
Football
on
Wrap
Facebook.
Up on Facebook, that's when we'll know.
Yeah.
And then just shoot. Hey, by the way, our buddy Nathan just recently joined our group, and
Yep.
he goes, "Hey guys, I liked your video. I subscribed." And now obviously we know he's a fantasy football wrap up
Yeah.
member.
So
So he qualifies now for the chance to win this. We got a jersey coming. So guys, thank you very much for joining, and we'll catch you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.